I actually did the thing that I came here to learn. I came to learn kindness, and that is what I did.
Welcome to the Secrets of Being podcast. I'm Dr. Dawn Earhart-Whitty, your guide on a transformative journey of personal development and discussions of universal truths. Join me and a panel of life coaches and spiritual leaders from around the world discussing how to handle some of life's greatest challenges. We will be sharing stories of love, faith, and inspiration with you, our faithful listeners, to live your happiest and most fulfilling life, full of purpose and passion for yourself, your families, and the world. We are here to be the change we wish to see. Let the conversation begin. Welcome to the Secrets of Being podcast. I am so excited to introduce our guest today, Kylie Riordan. I am one of her biggest fans. She posts on X about all the things that I talk about and I speak about and I stand for, about love and kindness and compassion and being our best selves. So Kylie, I would like you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then let's start our conversation.
That is so lovely. I'm so grateful to be part of this today. Thank you so much. Well, you've just described me a little bit. My name's Kylie Riordan. That's actually not my real name. That's my husband's surname. So that's my writing name. So I go by Kylie Riordan. I'm a mum. That's my first main love of life. I absolutely love that. Got 3 children, and 19, 15, and 12. They're very close to the next ages, so it's hard to sort of remember. And I am deeply, deeply passionate about virtues like kindness, compassion, joy, gratitude. I've spent the last 20 years researching topics like psychology, even down to near-death experiences. And after all of that research, I have come to the conclusion that it's very simple what makes life good, and that is things like kindness, compassion, joy, gratitude, just the simple things that we in this like fast-paced world have just forgotten. So yeah, that's where I am. And I'm currently just finished my manuscript for my second book yesterday, so I'm very excited I'll be able to bring that out into the world shortly. So
Oh, that is so exciting. Well, I have your first book here, When Soul is Life. And I'm going to share the story with the audience because it is so good. When I
it
read it,
is.
I was reading your book and
Yeah.
you wrote, Living with Soul. All the greatest teachers in human history have taught and lived by kindness and other acts of love. They taught us the true meaning of life, and this is why we look up to them with hope and conviction. Jesus, Buddha, Martin Luther King, and Mother Teresa embodied virtues of compassion, love, and kindness for all of us, for all, and each of them used their innate goodness to spread messages of love and peace. And everything that you wrote in this book is absolutely phenomenal. But when I read that passage, it was literally something that I wrote 7 years ago and
Unbelievable.
almost verbatim. And
Yeah.
I know it was probably the middle of the night for you when I sent you that text, but I had to send it like right when I was
Yeah.
experiencing it because my body was just goosebumps all over. And like,
Oh, I
she,
completely agree.
she,
There is no world that 2 people from different places on earth. I don't know, when did you write your book? I wrote mine in 2017. So when did you write your book?
I think it was 2017 as well.
So 2 different places on earth, with almost the exact same chapter, like not just a sentence, like almost the entirety of it was incredible. So
I know. So we're clearly getting the same downloads. We're receiving the same.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I love your posts on X. They are always
Thank you.
inspiring. And I remember reading one about talking about choosing to be a stay-at-home mom. And
Yeah.
I love that so
Yeah.
much because I made that same choice too.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
My girl, being a mom is my greatest title. It's the best thing I've
Yeah.
ever done. And,
Yeah.
whether it's mothering my children or my dogs or children
Same.
in
Yeah.
Africa,
Oh,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that
I
same
love what you
energy.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell
Um,
me about that for you, that choice about being a stay-at-home mom. And did you ever, and I will say for myself, like I always thought that I was less than. I would be like, oh, I'm just a mom.
yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you have that same kind of experience?
Um, yeah. Well, not with the choice. The choice was always simple. Like I knew that's what I wanted to be when I was little, like since I can remember I either wanted to be a nun or a mum, which is like completely different paths. But to me, I realized along the way that they're actually the exact same path. You get to love something so completely that you devote your entire life to them, and you get to experience that oneness and love. And I guess that's all I ever really wanted, was to just I just nurture and love people. So, but along the way, I do think that it has been difficult because it's not the same world. My mum was a stay-at-home mum. Her mum was a stay-at-home mum. They're both from Spain, so it was very much like that's what you did. And all of my cousins and sisters and stuff, none of them were a stay-at-home mum. So for me, it was like, yeah, trying to fit into a world where I didn't feel like I belonged. So I started writing to express myself, and I've been now on Twitter writing microblogs, because in the beginning it was like a way to just do a couple of words and get on with my life, like changing diapers and stuff. And now it's just progressed into something where I continue to just share little bit of snippets of my soul and connect with so many beautiful people like you. So it's been challenging, and I do have those questions that where's the value in not making money? But yeah, there's definite value in it. So it's just one of those things, though. It's just, yeah, I guess it's just part of life. I guess the mums that don't stay home also have that guilt. So I guess none of us are ever truly like feeling like we are 100% doing what we need to do. So, which is kind of a bit sucky, for lack of a better word, because women do so much. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's very fun. Hmm.
I think that comes back down to, again, society's expectations, and then each of us on our own individual journeys don't feel like we're doing enough, or we're not,
Yes.
and maybe comparison. Oh, well, this person is a doctor and a lawyer, and I'm just
Yeah.
like mopping the floors, right?
Yeah.
But there's value in all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. I truly believe that. And I also believe that the value doesn't have to be in how much money you're being paid. So in your situation, when you're volunteering in Africa, my situation is, cooking food for, people for our church, or like inviting family and friends over for dinners and just connecting and laughing. And like at the end of the life, I don't think you're going to remember the money you made. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think you're going to sit there and go, wow, I was so grateful that I made $2.2 million. I'll be like, I was so grateful I got to laugh and I got to connect. And so for me, it's just, I try to take away that side of it and just try to really think about the moment, just being present completely. Because now that my kids are older, I realize how quickly it's actually gone. It's gone way too quickly, and I miss it. But I'm also trying to embrace this moment where it's like I get to spend this time with adults, or growing into adults that I deeply love. So it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Well, and then you said something that's very, very interesting. So you said you either wanted to be a nun or a mom.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
I read that, I was like, it was kind of dark. And I'm like, you know what? Let me read that again. So what was your journey? Like, at what point do the nun thing go away? And like explain that, because that's fascinating.
Yeah, so like obviously Catholic upbringing, so that was something that I had. But from a really, really, really young age, I just deeply connected with like the Virgin Mary. Like I was just always like, I love her maternal, her compassionate heart, all those things, everything that represented. So for me, that was all I wanted to do. And I've always had this deep connection to life. So like even though I'm Catholic, I'm not going to say God, I'm going to say source or universe, whatever you deeply connect with. And I've always had this deep connection that I want to be of service to the world. I just don't see meaning in it unless I'm contributing in a way that makes me feel like, well, I don't know, where I'm helping people. Because I guess we sort of have lost that essence a little bit in the world, where it's more about me, less about how I can contribute to a society and a community as whole. So but then I met my husband and fell in love with my husband. So I love children, and I think that I definitely picked the right path. In another life, perhaps, but in this life, I definitely love. Like for me, children are everything. Like all my nieces and nephews, I helped raise them. So it's just like an incredible experience. One that I feel like I didn't really have to ever choose. I still get to go inward. I still get to pray. I still get to be of service to the community. So I never really had to make a choice. I get to do both now. So in my eyes, so yeah.
Well, and so I want to ask you because I've had these feelings that again you write about in your book about love and kindness and compassion for people. That's always been an intrinsic part of who I am. And
Yeah.
sometimes when I would speak to people about these things, they'd be like, "Oh no," and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you had those experiences?
Yeah.
And then what do you think? Where do you think? How do you think you got to that place? Like, did you have a near-death experience yourself? I mean,
No, my mom thinks I've always been like this, and I definitely think very differently to everyone I've always known. But I've always been, I don't know, deeply connected. I would say, like, I'd like to say that it's just like who I am, but I also have epilepsy and it plays with different parts of my brain. And sometimes I have profound joy before a seizure. So I wonder if somehow my brain is a little bit wired differently. So not to say that is the reason, because was born this way. Like I've always just, yeah, my nickname in school is Smiley Cut. I just want to make people happy. It's just who I am. So I think for me, definitely I don't know how to be anything else. And you probably have the same thing. I don't know how to not be like this. I also feel deeply uncomfortable when I'm with people and they're gossiping and those sorts of things. So that's always felt really not a part of me. But that's kind of how you have to be in the world. So I've always struggled to find my place where I belong. And it wasn't until I actually just let those barriers go and go, you know what, I'm going to be me. I'm going to show up. Whether the people like me, whether they believe me, whether they think I'm authentic, that's up to them. But I know the truth. So, and that's where, yeah. So I do completely agree with you. It is difficult to be in a world where compassion isn't the driving force, or where kindness doesn't necessarily come naturally to people. But also, I think that in a way, maybe it's my responsibility, maybe you feel the same, to help them, to make them remember. I guess at the essence of it, if we really think about it, it's all about that. It's all about love. It's all about those things. It's not about the money. It's not about the success. It's not about the beauty. They're all just like little bits of the things that we do along the way. It's definitely about the things that connect us as people. So, and I want people to get back to that essence. You know, you do all this popular psychology stuff, and I just don't think it's reminding us of what we truly are. So, yeah, my goal is to always inspire people to write from the heart. So a lot of the stuff I write, and you probably have seen it, is fairly vulnerable. Like it's kind of sometimes, I would say, not something that people would normally read, but I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to actually put my heart on my sleeve and say, this is who I am. Maybe somebody else can relate like you know, like when I see your stuff, when I seen who you were, I was just so grateful you followed me, because I was like, wow, because I followed you first. And I was just so grateful you followed me back, because I love what you do, everything you stand for. And I'm actually surprised that there's a lot more people that think like us than what we think. So yeah, I found a lot,
yeah,
especially on Twitter. I found a lot of people who are like, there's obviously the opposite end, but there is a lot that just want the world to be a better place. So yeah.
yeah, and and I think that that's, I mean, what you write a lot about like our soul knowing the answers, and
Yeah.
I love that because I say that to
Yeah.
people all the time. Your soul
Yeah.
already knows. Your
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
hasn't caught up with it yet, but
Yes.
your
Yeah.
soul knows. So again, that's a very profound and deep understanding, and the Catholic religion doesn't. It's not a big, huge proponent of that. Right.
No, no.
So how did you get to that place? Because it's such a beautiful place. And I don't know how I got there. So if somebody asked me
Yeah.
this question, I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a pathway. So, for me, when I was 16, I had that profound moment where I was like, what is my purpose? And I was shown clearly what my purpose is. A book flew off the shelf. It seems fairly mystical. It's one of those stories where people like maybe don't believe, but it happened. And the book was about Virgin Mary. And I read it, and it was about her compassionate heart. And I thought, well, this is my purpose. And then I just went to like, I started with the simple things, how to read auras, like crystals, Doreen Virtue, those sorts of things. And I did her courses with her. And then I moved into the next level of energetic healing. So I did a form of energetic healing called pranic healing. And you do a lot of divine love type stuff, it really brought me into those sorts of things. I followed lots of authors in the early days, like Neil Donald Walsh. I love a lot of what he spoke about in the early days. I've moved past all of those sorts of things now, but they're all foundational things that got me to where I am today. So I think it's just a progression. And I had that profound moment when I was at a meditation retreat, and I had had a seizure and I'd fallen on the ground, and I was there to become spiritually enlightened. I did this 10-day Vipassana course. I don't know if you know about Vipassana, but silent meditation. You don't talk, you don't speak. And I was restless the whole time. And I thought, maybe I'm just not good at this stuff. But then I had a seizure, fell down on the ground, and this beautiful lady picked me up, looked me in the eyes, and I felt nothing but love. I felt such deep compassion in that moment. And that's when I realized why I'm chasing this spiritual enlightenment when this is what it's all about. And that was that moment. It was just like a split second where I was like, ah, I've got it. This is it. This is what I've been searching for. I don't need to go to a 10-day like spiritual retreat. I don't need to meet gurus. I don't need to eat green juices and smoothies. I've literally got it all here. And then once I stripped everything back, then it just became my focus. It was just like, okay, I'm just going to be present. I'm going to be grateful for this beautiful life. I'm going to have simplicity. I'm going to have joy, and I'm going to just enjoy the silly things. I'm going to laugh at myself. And then that's where it sort of take off from there. I also, another profound moment I had, and where I got the idea, was from the Dalai Lama. I volunteered for the Dalai Lama in Brisbane in 2015. And I was given the job of ushering people to their seats. And we got told that he was going to come through the bottom auditorium. I was on the top auditorium, but my instinct told me he was going to come through our door. So instead of taking people to their seats, I was just so excited to meet the Dalai Lama. I just wanted to cuddle him. I wanted to just have that interaction with him. And I was like pointing people to their seats instead of taking them down. And this little old lady came up to me and she was like, showed me a thing. She's like, where do I sit? And I'm like, oh, you just go down there, you do this. And she went down, and then she came back and she looked at me. She's like, Kylie, I don't know where to go. I don't know. I said, that's okay. I put my arm through her, took her down. We had this really beautiful connection. I turned around and there was the Dalai Lama at my door hugging the other volunteers. And I didn't feel sad or upset. I thought, I actually did the thing that I came here to learn. I came to learn kindness, and that is what I did. So I think that progression of where I got to in life to there, I think that was just a journey of trying to fit into what I thought spiritual was, and then finally getting to the point where I know where spiritual is. It's just life. It's just love. It's just kindness. It's compassion. It's all those beautiful things that make us who we are, I guess, at the essence of us. And we tend to forget that a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel that, and this is one of the
Yeah.
reasons I was called to Africa, because I just felt
Yes.
there is tremendous suffering in this world, and if I
Yeah.
could do one little thing,
Just one thing. Yeah.
just one
Yeah.
little thing, make one little child feel seen and
Yes.
valued,
Oh
then
goodness. Yeah.
I, Sawabona is a word that I learned. It's an African word, and it means I see you, I value you, and you are important to me.
Oh,
And
oh, I
I
love
love
that. Yeah.
it is such a
Yeah.
beautiful thing
Yeah.
to be able
Yeah.
to give that to another soul, especially a
Yeah.
child, and
Oh,
especially a child that's
yeah.
struggling.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know if that one moment you've had with them changes the entire trajectory for their life. I think that, and I remember the moments where I felt profoundly loved. And I just think that if we can do that, especially with children, like you said, they're so innocent and vulnerable, and it's our job as adults to nurture that and to protect that and to love them and to show them. And I completely agree with you. And what a beautiful mission you've had, honestly. It's so inspiring. I love listening to your story, and I've read little things along the way. It's just so beautiful, honestly.
Well, again, you inspire me, and again, I am a huge fan. I am a huge fan.
Oh,
I'm like,
I'm a huge fan of
this
yours. Thank you.
woman is putting out love and kindness, and again, we're talking about the same things, and I feel a
Yes.
call to do this. You know,
Me too.
how
Yeah.
to figure
It
out
would
how
be
to not.
easier not to.
Right, right. Just to like go do like a regular 9 to 5
Yeah.
thing or
I
something.
just sometimes want to be a normal person, but in saying that though, I can't. I can't. And by normal, I mean I just want to have a normal job. I don't want this responsibility. Sometimes writing is actually very difficult, especially the vulnerable. Like doing something like this is very difficult for me too. Although I want to do these sorts of things, because I'm I would say introverted, extroverted. So
Me too.
yeah, I love going inward. I'm very reflective, but I love people. So I have to find that balance of, yeah, where I can sort of be myself, be within, go deep, and then also just love connecting and laughing with people. So yeah, it would be easier in a way if I could just do a normal 9 to 5 job, but it's not my life, and
No,
I'm trying
we
to embrace it wholly. And sometimes it's difficult, but it's mostly just it's who I am, and I can't imagine anything else. So, and I'm almost certain you're the same. Like it's not something that it chooses you, whatever
yes,
it is. And after reading that paragraph or that chapter that we had almost identical, it chose us both, and in the same way, yeah. And if you do reflect on what we did say, all of the greatest teachers have taught that, and so we have to sit there and think there has to be truth to it. All of the major religions have the same
that part.
basic precepts for kindness and compassion. So I think that, and I've read all of the major religious texts, I've read them all, and all of them are beautiful. All of them have some beautiful truth to it. So I think at the core of it, if we forget our differences, we are really all just looking for the same thing. So, and I think my job is to make people remember that. But I also love deeply connecting with people. I try not to, be too preachy because I don't want it to be like that. I want it to more be like it's me and you together, and I'm just sharing what's on my soul, writing it down, hoping that in that moment in time where you might need it, you'll see it. And every morning when I write, I ask God, universe, I say, please just write something that will help one person. So that's my intention every day. Every day. And you know what? Every day I almost get one person that says, you've changed my life. Thank you. And you get a lot of people on Twitter or X now. You get a lot of people that are horrible, like that say mean things all the time. And I don't even get upset with it. I just try to help them. I just try to help them to see my point of view. But I always try to make them see that it's not necessarily right. It's just my point. And then I want them to feel love, because a lot of people come at us with anger. They're hurting. How can you be happy? I'm hurting. You must have it all. But in reality, they don't realize the struggles that we go through. They just think that it's one of those things where you're born. Oh, well, okay, we did talk about being born that way. It doesn't mean the struggles weren't there, though. The absolute struggles are 100% there. I think, if anything, I've struggled more than I would like to even admit. So, because I am like rose-colored sort of glasses person. So for me, I think that I just try to see the good in it all, and it's not beyond me that my life is far from perfect, though. So I like to
But
make people see that.
nobody has a perfect life, right?
No,
Some people's
yeah,
struggles and challenges are way more difficult than others.
no,
I will
absolutely.
give you that. But, everybody has pain. Everybody's going to
Yes,
experience
yes,
loss. I mean, that is part of the
yes,
human condition. And,
yes,
we're all going to have some challenges that come up in life. And
yeah,
do we become a victim of that? Or do we say, okay, maybe there's something for me to learn here. Maybe,
yeah,
you know, there's a greater
yeah,
good in all of this, but
yeah,
I can't see
yeah,
it with my human mind right now.
yeah. I completely agree. And as I've gotten older, the bad stuff, like that's probably the best way to describe it. The bad stuff is I just I just fall into it now. So like if I have grief, I just try to feel all of it, because I'm like, in, to me, grief is like one of those things where it means you're profoundly loved. So just you're completely entitled to just fall and crumble and cry and get angry and just lose it. Like you are completely entitled to just fall into it. So the older I get, the more I just am forgiving to myself. And I just feel it. Like if I'm having a hard day, if I've had a couple of seizures, that's going to take me out for a couple of weeks. I just own it. I just like, okay, this is who I am. I can't change that. If anything, I sometimes see it as a gift, because it's forced me to sit still in moments where I would have been an entrepreneur. Probably I would have been someone who would out there in the world doing something different. But because I had to be reflective, I think it's made me the person I am. So I can't, in a way, look at that and think, oh, poor me, because I don't, I mean, I could, and I have in the past, but I'm not going to, because I can also see the blessing in it. I can see that it's forced me to be the person I am, and I wouldn't want to be anybody else, like regardless of the hassles I've been through in life. So, yeah.
Ugh, that's so beautiful. As you were saying that, I was thinking, I just lost my cherished, beloved Toby, um,
Oh,
in March, and
I'm sorry.
he wasn't even 3. And this
Oh,
was my Velcro dog. Like
oh,
we were together, and to lose him at such a young age really like
yeah,
tore my heart apart. And I
yeah,
remember, when my friends have gone through grief and they're like, I'm crying, I'm so sorry, or I will start talking to my friend and I'm like, oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, because I start like choking up. They're like, don't be
yeah,
sorry. Feel
yeah,
that.
yeah, feel
Feel
it,
that.
yeah.
Like give yourself permission. Like that is,
Mhm.
and then I read a quote that said like tears are prayers too. They're like
Oh, that's so
something like
beautiful.
they're
Yeah,
words that get to God when there are no words or something. I'm
yeah,
messing up the quote, but
yeah,
experiencing that grief and understanding that life is has got challenges for everybody, and there is not
absolutely.
one single person on this
No.
that is devoid of struggles and challenges.
And that's why kindness and compassion is so important, because you just want nobody to feel alone. And I know how alone everyone feels in those moments of deep sadness, deep vulnerability, and even anger. Like I've had moments with people where they've hurt me, but I can see that they're just hurting so much themselves that I can't hold on to that, because I can see beyond it. And I just want to cuddle them. I just want to grab them, embrace them, and say, you know what? I see you. Just be angry, just hurt. And it's okay that you hurt me, because I want to hurt somebody in that moment. You know what I mean? Like I can see why you're pain. So like for me, those things are deeply important. And a couple of times I've worked in places like nursing, more volunteered in nursing homes and stuff,
I
and they're
did too.
just yeah. So it's just such an incredible place, but also deeply sad. And I just hold them in those moments. I just when you can see that they're in dementia and or in the throes of just like nobody visiting in them. I just want, and all they want is to just be loved, just to be held. And I've often had moments where I've just, held them in that dementia moment. And I don't even know the patient, but I'm just like, they just need to be loved. So I think that when it's at the crust of what I do every single day is I just don't want anyone to feel alone. I want them to feel like they're in this together, because like it's kind of
We
hard. It's a
are.
bit sucky.
We
Yeah.
are in this together. And I think the
Yeah.
more that we realize that, I mean, one of the things that I've noticed is that in the United States,
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not poverty here, there is, but we have
Yeah.
access to water, clean water
Yes.
in almost
Yes.
all places here. And then
Yeah.
I go to Africa where that is sometimes a luxury in certain villages.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
of how very lucky we are, but then I see they're happy and joyous and they're not
Yes.
complaining or gossiping. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying everybody, but I'm saying in
No,
general.
no, no. Yeah. I completely agree. I think sometimes I don't know. I think the happiest people I've known have been poor. I think that sometimes we are biological beings and we do live in survival mode. And I think if there's not a pressure or a stress in your life, it somehow has to be created, because that's exactly what we need to do. And I think that when you've got nothing, there's so much more to be happy with, because when you've got everything, you feel like you have to keep up that everything. You feel like you have to search for the problems that somebody who has nothing would not even be able to dream about that problem, because their basic needs are not being met, and yet they're still happy. So it's we're a bit the same in Australia. We have, yeah, we're very lucky here. Our basic welfare is an incredible, well, it's not a lot of money, but it's enough for people to survive, to eat. Our housing situation is pretty good. We don't have huge homeless, although it's getting a little bit worse at the moment. Um, but yeah, when you go to other countries and you realize how lucky we really are lucky here, like, and so then that's when you go, okay, well, I've got health. If you've got health, you're very lucky. Not many people have health these days, but if you have health, you're extremely lucky. If you've got family, friends, someone to love, animals, oh goodness, like even just animals are the most incredible things on earth. If you've got basic needs met, I think we need to just maybe just strip it back a bit and go, okay, where can I find the joy in that simplicity? Because some of the happiest people on earth are monks that have no like
Material.
absolutely, yeah, materialistic stuff at all. Like they have nothing. So you think to yourself, there must be some truth to that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think gratitude is a huge factor. And I also think it's connection. We have
Yes.
gotten very disconnected from each other. Some people
Yes.
are lonely, and
Yes.
when they are going through a struggle or they are
Yeah.
going through something that's very challenging, they don't have their
Yeah.
people, they don't have their tribe.
Yeah, and you also have the whole social media thing where it makes you feel like everyone else's life is perfect. So you're comparing against something that's actually real. So that is definitely, I mean, I'm old enough to remember the time before that's so, and that's, I think there was less of that because you didn't feel like you needed to compare to people. It was real. You know, you loved your neighbors, you were with your neighbors, you got to see them. But now we're seeing people who are succeeding, people who are always happy, and there's got filters on, and we feel like we're somehow lacking in life. And I think so that connection that we need, it's definitely gotten worse since COVID too. I thought it might make it better. I thought it might make it like we'd want to spend more time with people, but I've definitely noticed it's completely different, which is really sad. I want more community, definitely.
Yes, and you know what? I really want to like I mean, I have been over the last several years, but building that community of like-minded people who
Yes,
do want to be of service and who do
yes,
see it's not that we don't see the bad things that are happening in the world or the negative things
absolutely.
or the pain
Yeah,
and the suffering, but instead of fighting about it or arguing or, yelling at each other, what can we do
yeah,
to help? How
yes,
can we
perfect.
help
Yeah,
be
because
part of the
we
solution?
can't fix everything, but like even if we're just fixing one part of the world, or even if we're just, like you said, just connecting with people, making people feel seen and heard, like even if we're just doing those little things, I think we're gonna make a difference. And that's another thing I've learned along the way. It doesn't have to be big; it can be really, really small, and it still matters. Yeah, absolutely. Like I speak a lot about it in my book. Your soul will remember that. Like people might remember the words that they said to you that hurt the most, but your soul will remember the good things. It'll like definitely hold that in like a spiritual bank account, and it'll just, yeah, it matters. I don't know how to say it. I just know it matters.
It
And
does.
yeah.
And it matters
So
it matters to you too, right? Because
yes,
when you
yeah,
have seen somebody or, at the grocery store, I'm sure this happens to you all the time. People will
yeah,
just come up, random strangers will come up and just tell you that their life
yeah,
story or tell you just something.
yeah, yeah,
And my daughter
yeah,
always used to say to me, "Mom, why do you keep talking to them? Like you don't even know them." And I'm like, I have a few minutes that I can
yeah,
spare. If somebody feels like they want to share something with me,
yes,
then I feel
yeah.
like that's a gift.
Oh, absolutely. What a gift that is. And I also think connecting with people you've never met before is a gift in itself. Like just getting that moment where yeah, I love hearing people's stories. I love listening to their stories about life. And especially when you're in Australia's community, a lot of elderly are very isolated and vulnerable. So yeah, especially elderly people, I feel like they really need that connection. So if you can spare a few moments, and that, yeah, that happens to me often. My husband, it happens to him all the time. I love it because he's actually like he's not, he doesn't like thinks necessarily the same as me, but he's deeply kind inside, but he's not outwardly shows it. But like everyone always asks him to help them, like to carry shopping or something. And I just love watching that. That makes me so happy because it's like he's that person that somebody feels safe asking to carry their shopping into their house, or to pick them up off the ground if they've fallen over or something like that. So I love watching, yeah, not just me, but other people around me. My son's a little bit the same too. So it's nice to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, when we see our adult children, my children are in their 30s, right? And
Oh, no, no way. You
when
do not
I
look old enough to have.
thank you, and there are no filters. No. But when I hear how they interact with other people, I mean,
Yeah.
my daughter, for example, one time she had just had her car in to get serviced, and
Yeah.
when she was driving home, something happened that they missed or they messed up, and she almost didn't make it home. Right. And so she
Yeah.
calls them, and instead of being mad, which, she could have been because it's scary,
Yeah.
she was so kind. She was
Oh,
so sweet the
nice.
way she
Yeah.
spoke to her. And I'm like, "Aw,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
I love that, I raised like good children that
Yeah.
treat people with
Yeah.
respect and kindness. That's really,
I'm with you. I think that's a beautiful thing for me. Yeah, that's just so beautiful. For me, it's just that's the only thing that I wanted my kids to come out. I didn't really care about what jobs they did, or what sports they played, or as long as they came and they were happy. But like that kind of happiness that's soul happy, not that fake happiness where money or success brings. I just want them to genuinely feel the love of a family too. Like they'll always have a place at our table for dinner and those sorts of things. Like, and when yeah, like you said, watching them grow, like I've only got one adult kid, but watching them grow is just like the most incredible thing on earth. Like, honestly, it's just, yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah,
What a
well,
gift it is.
it definitely is. I mean, I think being a mom was like my greatest teacher. And
Yeah. Oh,
he
yeah. I'm
learned
with you.
more
Yeah.
about life than
Yeah.
any other thing that I've ever
Yeah.
experienced. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
that will challenge you,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
but it will
But
also teach you.
it challenges you in the right ways. I think you need to be challenged because if we always kept that child mindset, we wouldn't grow. And I feel like sometimes that challenges and mothering is the most difficult, most beautiful, divine experience that I've ever gone through. I mean, you probably remember holding the kid for the first time is. There's nothing like that. There is absolutely, like, in that instant that there's more, that that's divine love, that there's something there, like in an instant your life is forever changed. And it's such a gift. You would be getting close to the grandchildren age too, which would be
I have
lovely.
one. I
Oh,
have one. He is
congratulations.
born
That's
in
all, I can't wait for
January.
that day.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It is so wonderful.
Yeah.
He is the cutest little thing. And my daughter said something. My daughters give me a hard time because they like to pick on mom. That's one of their favorite games.
Yeah.
She said to me, she said, she goes, I told him that you're going to be one of his favorite people. And
uh,
that was like one of the best things anybody could have ever said to me.
oh, absolutely.
And
I tell my kids all the time,
I will
go.
purposely try to ruin him.
Well, I spent like my sister always laughs because I obviously fairly spiritual and stuff, and my son's a scientist, and she's like, how did your son become a scientist from? And I was just like, it's just the way life goes. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I wanted him to be who he was. I never wanted to push my beliefs on him, but I can see at the core of him he's all of those things. Like, I think it's incredible. And congratulations on being a grandparent. That is the most, to me, I cannot wait for that day. Like, I think the parenting was hard because you had to raise them, you had to do all the ordinary, provide for them money, all those sorts of things. And then when you get to be a grandparent, you just get to love and bake cookies and all that sort of stuff, which is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I dated somebody who told me when he watched me with my pets, he was like, "You are a free range helicopter mom," and I'm like, I am. I
Yeah,
am.
I'm
I
not afraid
want
to say
them.
it.
I want them to
Yeah,
be 100% themselves.
yeah,
I don't want to, like, yes, there have to be some rules, to keep them safe and things like that, but you
yeah.
go be you. I'm not trying to mold you into anybody. Like, your son
No,
came that way. That's who
yeah.
he is. That's who he was
Yeah,
born to be.
exactly. And if
So
I
we
have to
nurture
believe in
it.
this, yeah, if I have to, from a young age, he was very inquisitive. So I just tried to help him with that. And to be honest, along the way, he got me interested in science. And it's funny because I was like, science is fake. This one's real. But as I've gotten older, I can see that they both complement each other. So, like, I feel like I needed him to teach me that too. And I just think there's beauty in all things. So if you can just find the beauty in it all, but yeah, it's yeah, science. I mean, I studied psychology a little bit.
Me too.
So
Me too.
yeah, I love. Oh, nice. I love psychology, and that's science. So like, it's very much science based, and it's hard not to still find it interesting and yeah, wanting to learn more about science because I think understanding the biology of us helps us to understand why we think and do the things we do, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Same, same. That's the reason I went into that field of study. Because, like,
Yeah.
why do people do the things they do? I would never,
Yeah.
I would try to
Yeah.
figure that out, and I still try to figure it out. But
Oh,
it's,
you're so, yeah. I think we'll always be doing that.
I
And
swear
even
we
for
were,
ourselves, why do we do what we
yeah,
do?
exactly, exactly. Why am I like this?
Yeah. Why do I? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Well, so I want you to tell us a little bit about what your upcoming book is that you just finished the manuscript for, and
Yeah.
congratulations. That's very
Thank you.
exciting.
Oh, it's like, when you first do your first draft, it's at that stage. So it
Oh,
might be a long time away. But in saying that, I actually have two parts to me. One's very spiritual and one's very funny. So I try to incorporate the two in this. I find it difficult because like there's that fine line where I don't want to offend anyone, but I also think that life should be laughed at. So I have brought out a spiritual book that is about laughing at ourselves. So it's all the bad, embarrassing things I've done, and then what I've learned from it. So, and I It's a little bit like When Soul is Life, but also more more personal, so more real. So how do I relate that to who I am and what I've done, and just make people laugh a little bit more? And just like motherhood, middle age, all that sort of stuff comes into it a little bit. So can I tell you the title? No, but I have definitely written the outline. I've written the book, and it's a little bit more funnier than the last one. So yeah.
Well, I like the first one, and I'm sure that this is going to be amazing. And you know what? Laughter is medicine for our
Yeah.
soul. It
Yeah,
truly is.
absolutely. It is. I completely agree. And see, for me, I probably learned some of my most profound lessons from funny people. It's interesting because I actually think they're very insightful. They understand human nature, comedians. They really do. Because to be able to pick and pull at the funny bits, they have to understand the depth of it. So I've learned a lot from comedy. So for me, like there's that balance of wanting to maybe appeal to more people too, because I write such deeply spiritual things that sometimes I think that scares people a little bit. So I want to maybe make it more modern, so more where people could maybe relate, but still with the same underlying message. So I can still get the message of kindness, compassion, joy, all of those lovely virtues across. So vulnerability, fear, everything that helps us to navigate this wildly messy life. Yeah, I'm hoping I might be able to appeal to a lot more people by doing the book. It's never my intention to sell lots of books or anything like that. It's more just when someone reads it, I want them to have that moment, like Oprah used to say, that aha moment
Yeah.
where they thought, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm like this, I'm more like this than I think I am. Or oh, like even with all this stuff, she's still happy, like I kind of just want to, yeah, connect with people. And I do have to get a copy of your book too. So can you please send me a link through X?
Oh, I
Because
will.
now, yeah, I need to read it because so I know it'll be powerful. So I'm very excited about reading it.
Well, thank you. I mean, again, I am so grateful that we connected. I know that you are
Me too.
inspiring people, and I know that's
Thank
what we're here
you.
to do, right? We're not here to
Absolutely.
preach or to teach.
Yeah.
We're here to live,
Yeah.
be. My
Yeah.
book is called Be. It's like be the change you wish to see. Be the person that you
Yeah.
wish you had in every
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah.
if you are at the
Yeah.
grocery store and there is, the cashier,
Yeah.
see them, you know,
Yes.
make a
Yeah.
joke, compliment them, whatever, genuinely. Don't
Yeah.
force things.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. I think that where you meet people, no matter where they are in life, you meet them with your whole heart. And I think that's the one thing that I love about life. I've got friends who are virtually homeless, and I've got millionaire friends, and I love all of them. I just love connecting with different people. And I think that's the key to life, is trying to find what we have in common instead of what we have. And politically, the world is like a little bit screwed at the moment, but we all have lots of commonality that we're forgetting. We are forgetting the thing that connects us all. And so when I try to connect with people, I try to find that one thing we have in common, and then it grows from there, because everybody is to me, I just love people. Everyone is a special soul in a way, even the cranky people, even the people that are bitter and angry, or I still think at the core of it they're still pretty special. So, and I think that's their soul. I think I can see that, I can feel that. And yeah, I think I want everyone to have that same experience in life. So that's why we'll continue to write, I guess. But I do love Twitter. I found that that's the best place for me to quickly put little bits of my heart. There was blogging in those days, which I just didn't have the time for blogging. So to me, I love Twitter, and I've loved growing with it, and I've loved seeing all of the ins and outs it's gone through. I think I've been there since 2011. So, and not many Aussies are on it. So it's nice to see different parts of the world too, like different people connect with different people. So that's nice. Yeah.
Ugh, I love that. I mean, I love everything you stand for, everything you write
Thank
about. And again, when you're, I mean, down to, volunteering at nursing homes.
you.
What?
Yeah.
Like the
Uh,
similarities.
I would go there on my days off if I could, but it's there. Yeah, to me, I've always loved.
Well, I've got two, they're 3.5 months old. So
Um,
they're very
very
little.
puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very puppy and so very naughty and lots of trouble, but I wouldn't
What
trade.
sort of dogs are they? Because they're very cute.
They are Great Dane Border Collie mixes.
Oh, I love Great Danes. Yeah, I
I
thought there might be something else in there, but Great Danes are so beautiful. They're like humans in dog form, and they're these big, burly, gorgeous things.
Yes, and
They
they're
are a
very
dog.
just like thwarpy and
Yeah.
wonderful and just adorable. I had two Great Dane pit bull mixes, Whitney and Lola, and they passed. And then I found my
Oh,
Toby, who is also
oh
a Great
my.
Dane pit bull mix. And I write about this in an upcoming anthology that's coming out in October about losing him and
Nice.
then finding them and just all the
Yeah.
magic and all the love that animals have
Yeah.
taught me. Because just like we talked
Oh,
about being a parent has taught us so much,
yes.
being a caregiver for all of these animals over the course of my lifetime has taught me so much. And again, that bond,
Okay.
there's that is something that is so sacred that
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
when we can connect with a being that's not even a human
I
and
know.
have that
Yeah.
deep, profound love and respect for each
Oh,
other, we
I
can do it
completely
as
agree.
humans.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think animals are our greatest teacher, absolutely. And it's so your description is so beautiful of them. Like they are just yeah, I just can't imagine. We had a year last year where we traveled, so we didn't have animals last year, and it was the hardest year of my life because just having an animal and having like that constant companion that loves you unconditionally. There's no question, they just love you. And you know, and when the kids are older and they move on, the animal's still loyal, still there, still wanting your. And I think they're our greatest teachers, but also just such a gift. How lucky are we to have? I have a bulldog, and you've probably seen a photo.
Yes.
She is so cute. She's adorable. We've always had I don't. We call them sausage dogs in Australia. Do you call them sausage dogs?
Dachshunds, the wiener dog.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the wiener dogs, yeah. We call them sausage dogs in Australia. I've always had them and I love their little personalities, but there's something about a bulldog that is just so incredibly cute. I don't know what it is. They're just calming. And I think I'm at the age where I need the calming dog because like the sausage dogs are crazy, fun, loving, and the bulldog is more like placid. So I'm really enjoying this next phase with the bulldog. So we're probably going to get another one because we love them so much. So they're so cute.
Uh, yeah, there's nothing. I mean, dogs. I mean, I love all the animals. I love all the animals, but dogs are they have
Yeah.
special place in my heart. And I would have 100, and that's
Yeah,
probably
me
why
too.
I can't volunteer for animal rescues because I'm
Yeah,
like,
because you take them all
I
home.
would take them all home. I would, and I
Yeah,
know
I'm
it's
with you.
yeah. I had 6 dogs at one time, and that's illegal.
Oh, wow.
So I do know that about myself. So I am like disciplined.
Yeah, you have to make sure you don't put yourself in that situation because your
Exactly.
empathy will just take over. You'll be like, "You're coming home with me," and
What's
you know
one
you're
more
going to
dog?
love them. Yeah, I'm always the same. Somebody needs to love them.
Yes,
um,
yes.
I'm really grateful for this experience, and I hope we can talk again one day soon too. Maybe after yeah, a little while. I'll try and get a better setup where I've got like better lighting and stuff for you. I've got my little phone. I apologize for that.
No, it's all perfect. And I just wanted to leave this. I mean, I could talk to you forever because again, I
Yeah,
feel
me
like we were
too.
separated at birth.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I would
is
love that.
I mean, reading your book, I'm sure there's many things that you could say to this, but what is the one thing that you would like to leave the audience with? Like something that you just think is so important that you want to make sure that they hear?
um, that that if you just quieten your mind for a moment and get rid of the noise and you hold your hand on your heart and you'll just feel incredible love. And then in that moment, you'll know that once the noise starts, you've got that center to ground yourself in. And then that you'll know if you just spend a moment with that love, without a doubt, I know that you are loved. So I try to get people to connect with that essence of their love. So if you can just for a moment after this, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just search for the love. I promise you that can be your grounding force when the life just gets on top of you and it just crap hits a fan. I promise you. And then in that moment, regardless of your religious belief, you'll know that you're loved and that there's something more. There's something more meaningful to life. I just want people to know they're loved. So, and because they really are. Yeah, I hate that people are alone, and yeah, so I want them to feel loved.
Oh, well, everything that you do definitely like
Thank
shares
you.
that with people. So, um,
Thank you.
Well, so if you want to learn more about Kylie, When Soul is Life is out now. You can get that on
Thank you.
Amazon. And then her
Thank you.
upcoming book is coming out. We don't have a title yet, but manuscript is done. So
I have a working title, but I won't say it in case I
it's
change
okay.
it.
It's okay. I understand the process, but congratulations on finishing that manuscript because I know it's a big deal, and
It's
so
huge. Yeah.
I
And it's
can't wait
also
to
just
see.
such a relief when you do. And I am really incredibly grateful for the experience. I've loved to got to know you more, but I felt like I always knew you. So it didn't feel like something that was like I'm meeting an old friend instead of a new friend. So I'm grateful for this experience, and I hope at some point in our lives our paths cross again. I really do. And I wish the
Oh,
best
they
for you.
will.
Thank you so
Can't
much.
get rid of
Yeah.
me.
That's fantastic. Oh, me. Thank you so much. And I hope
Thank
you have a
you.
blessed day. And yeah, and share this with me later on, and
Absolutely.
I'll share it with everyone on X and my other platforms and stuff for you too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. I mean, again, it's an
Oh,
honor
thank
to
you.
have you, and
Thank you.
I am your fan, and I'm not just saying that to just, you know, compliment
Oh,
you. I truly love every single thing you put out because I know it's coming from like the deepest love from your soul, and the world
yeah.
needs more of that.
It really does, and I'm grateful for everything you've done too to make the world a better place and my world a better place. Like I was extremely excited the day that I clicked follow you and you followed me back, and I just thought, oh, these are the sorts of people I just feel so grateful to know. So I'm very grateful for everything that you've shared along the way too with me and for our continued journey together. So please take care, and thank you again.
Thank you, Kylie, and thank you all for joining us on The Secrets of Being. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Secrets of Being podcast. We appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with more inspiring content. For further inspiration, visit thesecretsofbeing.com and join our community. Until next time, stay inspired and keep unlocking the secrets of being.